Hi everybody, this is AJ,
And this is Sean.
and we're back after a very long hiatus, which is normal to play some Resident Evil 4.
Yes. And I'm going to, well, you're going to be playing Resident Evil 4, and I'm going to be spectating and probably thinking to myself that you're doing it wrong, but it's okay.
This is a game that I remember playing back on the GameCube around launch, and I tried to play it, and even on the HD version of the 360, which is what we're playing now, I've never been good at it. I'm either afraid of the enemies or I just suck at the combat.
But I think, in terms of Resident Evil 4, that's kind of normal. I think the game does that to you. At least when I played it, I think it had already been out for about a year. And I picked it up from GameStop or something like that. And I took it home and played it as somebody who had already played Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. And was just completely overwhelmed. Not only by the enemy density, but the actual difference in gameplay. So for you, as somebody who I don't think is as well versed in the old Resident Evil games, this is pretty much, you're going to be going through exactly probably what I did to some extent.
Well, that's good then, because the only Resident Evils I've played, I beat 5, I beat 6, and I beat Operation Raccoon City.
And in terms of, like, while 5 may have continued the tradition of the new over-the-shoulder style gameplay, 5 lost a lot of the intensity and, like, feeling of...
Well, 5 was arcadey.
Yeah, and this game has much more of a looming sense of dread, and you always feel like you're being crushed by adversity, whereas Resident Evil 5, they throw you so many tools to just annihilate everything, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I think I went through the hard mode with an infinite ammo rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Which is probably not the standard Resident Evil experience.
And, I mean, you can obtain really strong post-game stuff like that in Resident Evil 4, but it's a lot more difficult to come by.
Well, that's kind of the reason I've always wanted to get into the game, just because it looks like the new Game Plus options seem to be at least interesting, because they give you new costumes and I believe a weapon or two.
Yeah. There's I think there's at least 2 costumes for both Leon and Ashley. And there's a series of special weapons you can unlock. One of which has to be unlocked via S-ranking every mercenary stage with every character, which is pretty difficult. But,
probably not going to do that.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Alright. For one, I need to put subtitles on. 2, should I skip this? I know something happens. He falls off a bridge.
Maybe just not skip the cutscene, sweet.
Alright.
You just talk to him.
Then again, maybe you did.
So have you actually played 1 through 3?
No.
Or the remake or 0?
The furthest I've gotten in Resident Evil 1 was to, I think it's like the second floor, where there's the 2 split hallways,
Okay.
and you can see below you.
Okay, so like 15 minutes.
Yeah, like 15 minutes into the game.
Maybe a little bit more than that.
Even still. But yeah, past the obligatory dog section.
Okay.
You go upstairs. That's all. That was from when the game came out. That was years and years ago.
So basically, the reason I ask is because you're going to view this game differently anyway. As somebody who hasn't really played the early games, but you've played the games that came after this, you're inevitably going to see this game in a different light than probably most other people.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how you feel about it.
Less than ideal.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah. Well, I just recall 6 I didn't like for numerous reasons. It looks good, but it just didn't seem to make up its mind with combat.
I will say on 6, because I bought that game at launch, had that game at midnight that Monday evening, well, technically Tuesday morning, whatever. And I played it for a few hours, and my initial response to the game was negative. I did play through it within a day or two, all the way, all 4 campaigns. But I went back and replayed it with our good buddy Dave, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more the second time. And I think it's because I wasn't going into it with expectations. Like, I already thought it was a bad game.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed it a lot more the second time through. Granted, I had somebody to play with that time, so I don't know if that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I forget. I don't know if it was Dave or who I played. I played 6 with somebody the whole way through, because I didn't solo it.
It wasn't... It could have been Dave.
It's probably Dave, because I'm a notorious pansy when it comes to survival horror or anything even remotely horror.
Yeah.
I mean, cut back to Deadly Premonition, where I was literally afraid of the opening enemies that pose almost 0 threat to you.
See, now this game, it is technically survival horror, and it would be, placed into the genre of a horror game. But I always say that rather than being scary, Resident Evil 4 has this overwhelming... That's actually it. It makes you feel overwhelmed.
Okay.
Because while I don't think the enemies themselves are terribly scary, I do think that some of their designs are excellent, and they're grotesque, and they're awesome looking. I don't think they're scary. Instead, the game just makes you feel like you don't have a chance at getting out of any of the situations. Which I guess to some people might be scary.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you actually, like, to me, the first shot of the zombie in Resident Evil 1, like, even though it's dated and, I don't want to say pixelated, but, you know, dated and graphically inferior to modern gaming, like, it's still, something
there's
about
something,
it
there's
is,
something startling
is
about
horrific,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good usage
I think
of
if
the
you-
art.
I think the thing about the first Resident Evil, because a lot of people don't consider it, to be incredibly terrifying, but for its time, if you look at games that existed prior to that point, nothing had really been done like that as far as I know. I mean, that's not to say there weren't horror games, because we all know, at least it's said, that Resident Evil was kind of playing off what Alone in the Dark had already created.
Have you seen Alone in the Dark? Like, I haven't played it. Have you seen footage of Alone in the Dark?
The original one, yes,
That
it's
game is
extremely polygonal. But I don't think anything had been that in your face prior to Resident Evil. And then Silent Hill came along and took it in a totally different direction.
I don't seem to be able to put I can't seem to put subtitles on. Alright, let me figure out can't tell if it's the frame rate or just hard time adjusting to this.
Well, we were playing Killer Instinct a few
Yeah.
minutes ago. So.
Killer Instinct is a little bit different than Resident Evil 4. Alright, A is run. I didn't shoot the bird, so I've already missed an optimal playthrough. That is one thing about this game. I don't know how to play it. Like I am poor at it when I have attempted.
You'll be fine if you don't get the cash you can get from birds. You'll be fine.
I know, but I've seen I think 2 or 3 complete or near complete Let's Plays of this game.
Well,
so
do you want me to backseat game you, or do you want me to not tell you where stuff is?
no, you can tell me where stuff is because
Okay.
I mean I have had enough of the game spoiled to me.
And disclaimer: I can tell them where stuff is. That doesn't mean I remember where everything is.
No, yeah, well, this is
because I
not
definitely don't.
not a completionist playthrough. There's really nothing out here. I just didn't go inside and shoot this guy. Like this is already a large percentage of the amount of game I have played. Like this is probably 25% of the amount of game I've played. I've never gotten past the first village. I've seen it.
So you've been in the major first combat zone, though. Like you've actually engaged in the first major confrontation.
I guess you'd call it that. Like there's the save point where they give you a shitload of items and you can break boxes for fun. And then there's like 8 enemies, and I don't know if they keep respawning or what, but I've never gotten through that encounter.
I don't.
I was wondering if you might
I think it's a set amount of enemies, but you have to survive for a certain amount of time.
So you can either kill all of them or survive.
Yes.
Okay. Something about the whole jumping through windows that like it just creeped me out because I never felt like I was safe because enemies kept pouring through the windows.
Yeah, it's and that's the part that really, when I first got this game, I thought it was going to be impossible because as somebody who had never played prior to this point, I don't think there was anything comparable.
Yep, I like a knife.
Like gameplay-wise, I don't think there was anything with this gameplay perspective that presented this amount of intensity in the gaming landscape at all. And that might be part of the reason why this was considered so revolutionary. But yeah, this first village part, when you have to fight, the onslaught of all
It's
the
immediate.
villagers, it's insane, and you're forced, because up to this point, I think you have very little ammo, and there are things you can find, but you have to do it all on the fly, while enemies are breathing down your neck, in an environment that you aren't yet familiar with.
Right.
So
It's a way to force the player.
it's
to
like a
understand.
trial by fire.
Now, this is always okay. I know there's a few items in this house. Can the enemies break in, or are they waiting for me to jump out the door?
In this house,
Yeah.
nobody's going to come in here.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
You can take your time and explore if you wish.
He's not a zombie. All right. Now,
So you've already been struck.
yeah, I've
Because
already.
you're MLG Pro.
Well, I'm pretty good at this game, but I took 2 or 3 hits because I was trying to knife him because I understand the knife is really good in this game. But the
Is it?
hitbox is weird.
If the knife is really good, then I actually might be at a disadvantage because I never really used it other than to break boxes.
Yeah, there's
I don't know if there are items in here or not. They might be upstairs.
There's something that, or I like reading things. But
That's
no,
fine.
I know for a fact the knife is at least handy. But I did not use it.
You can use
effectively.
it. I think you can use it to deflect projectiles and stuff.
Can you dodge or anything, or just run? Can't remember if you
I don't
really
remember if there's
roll.
I don't think there's a context sensitive dodge.
Alright.
That's Resident Evil 6 territory. Although it seems so obvious
Yeah,
that a
did
dodge.
you see that?
Yeah, it seems so obvious that a dodge would be necessary in retrospect. But I don't think the game really suffers without it.
Yeah, right into that. I would honestly be fine with dying just to see where I'm fucking up. God, that's so yeah, they definitely have less health than average enemies. Or wait, am I an easy? I never changed the difficulty.
It
but-
doesn't matter. I think the game will still be challenging. And I don't know if there is an easy for this.
I think there is. Because they're dying really quick. Like, it doesn't... Well, whatever.
It could just be, like you said, the beginning enemies may have lower health, just to make sure you don't die before the first save point, even though you almost did.
I almost did.
I would just use the herb.
Yeah, because they'll be more. Alright, got some money. Actually, and then, in regards to how far I've seen in person, my brother made it to the fish. The big fish boss.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
This will tell me what difficulty I'm on.
Yeah.
Okay, good. No,
I don't think there is an
Good.
easy.
I feel better about this then. Alright, so we gotta save the dog so we can show up later before this turns into a big escort mission.
That's the other thing. This game is huge. It's so big.
That is a bird, right?
Yeah.
The aiming is so shitty.
You know. Well, I think when you're, I don't know if his aiming gets worse when he's low on health.
There we go.
But yeah, the game is massive. Like in sheer terms of scale alone, this trumps the previous games in the series hands down. The atmosphere is something totally different.
Actually, should I use the first aid spray or the green herb?
Well, the first aid spray is a full heal.
Oh, he's green herb. Considering I have such low health right now,
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, like, so, full, my max amount of health is low. So I know you can expand upon that by getting...
Yeah, there's yellow herbs.
Yeah, is it yellow, green, red, or...
You
just
mix
yellow,
yellow and green.
Okay,
I think, well, anything you mix yellow with will give you a max health increase,
let's see.
if I'm not mistaken. I think if you mix a red with it too, you'll actually fill your health meter in the process.
Okay.
I think. Like I said, take all this with a grain of salt because I haven't played this in some time.
Alright, I remember this.
You don't even have to shoot those.
Oh, I can just run through the middle?
Yep. Don't waste. Yeah, I wouldn't waste too many more bullets.
Let's see if I can get a headshot. I'm gonna try.
You could also just run past him.
No, I don't like the idea of enemies behind me.
Well, I don't think. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I'm okay. Yeah.
They probably chase me, but well,
Oh yeah.
Go either way.
I don't know.
this game is odd. I like it. It feels better than I remember, but there's something about the angle of the
It's
The view.
it's something to adjust to. It feels natural after you play it for a while.
okay. So there's a guy in that hut. That's why.
I think there's somebody nailed to the wall inside there.
That felt good.
That was efficient. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good
And
actually.
I probably could have done with one shot, but still, that felt good. And John was right.
Yeah, I remember some things.
So maybe
it was
it's
a
snake?
woman. It was a woman.
There's something. One of these
I don't
houses.
know if the snakes are in the boxes yet.
No, not that one. Yeah, this. Because it's not. I can't see the hut, but just the angle, like how close everything is to you is.
Yeah, it's jarring.
Alright. So you gotta wait till it gets close, then you run up. See,
Then you miss.
that's such a weird.
Then you get hit and it hurts.
See, I'd rather learn this now though and be aware. Because like I know you can run up and like kick them and shit.
Yeah.
That actually.
Yeah, it's during. I think you have to shoot their legs for that, or you have to just hit them a certain amount of times. There's like a certain stun animation
Okay.
that allows you to use the context-sensitive fight moves,
Gotcha.
which I think is actually just the kick in this game. It's in the other ones. There's like you can do
Suplex
do
and
combos and shit.
Decapitation and ultra combo,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Scamper is being. I know I should acknowledge the Pomeranian that's next to us, but he's
I'm trying-
being really good right now.
Well, I mean, you say that, but he's been gnawing on me and trying to break loose for like 15 minutes.
Perfect.
There you go.
I did it.
I guess the knife is better than I thought. In the subsequent games,
That knife
it's
is
not very good.
Pretty good. Because it was what? A bullet and two knives stabbed and I killed him?
Yeah.
Which is, and then I waste a bullet. Awesome. I feel like do they give you ammo based on how much you've used up to this point?
I do not actually know.
That's fine. Alright, question is, should I use my health now or wait till... I don't know what's after this. Yeah, let me use it. 'Cause
You
I'm,
might find. Okay.
I'm likely to find an herb.
Yeah,
in there.
there's at least, I know for a fact there's at least one herb to be obtained.